AOE King fight news. We're back at it. And Guillermo Rigondeaux is still being talked about by major media members. Essentially having that poor performance against Vasyl Lomachenko. Headline at Boxing Scene, Bernstien is saying that beating Lomachenko was an impossible ask of Rigondeaux. You know, Bernstien said early on, you know, this is a really big ask. Rigondeaux doesn't have much of a chance here to beat Lomachenko. And, you know, after the fight, you know, this is what, almost a month after the fight, or actually 2 to 3 weeks after the fight. Here's what Bernstien had to say about Guillermo Rigondeaux and the whole situation. It's funny how you have initial thoughts about something and then you alter as you get closer. My original thought, and I even tweeted about this months ago, was that it was just way too much of an ask for Rigondeaux to go up 2 weight classes, and that Lomachenko should be looking for somebody more his size. Bernstien told On the Ropes Radio. Bernstien also mentioned I took a lot of heat from fans on Twitter over that, and then as we got into closer to the fight, he had some back and forth with Rigondeaux, who said, you know what, I can move up in weight, no problem. You know, he was Guillermo Rigondeaux was insistent that 1, he can hurt Lomachenko, and 2, he'll be able to carry the weight. He was insistent on both those premises. And do we believe in Rigondeaux? Absolutely. I thought Rigondeaux would be able to carry his power up, and we really never found out. That's the worst part about it. I don't even know. I still don't know what would have happened if Rigondeaux landed that left hand on Lomachenko, but it wasn't to be. He couldn't land the shot. Lomachenko used superb defense. His angles, his maneuvering was all on point, and Rigondeaux was just not in position to land that shot. And to me, that's credit to Lomachenko. I don't want to discredit him and say, you know what, Rigondeaux took a dive. That's not what this is about. I think Lomachenko did what he had to do to win that fight, and Rigondeaux left the perception in the hands of everyone else watching by now. The perception was absolutely that Rigondeaux quit in the fight because he didn't come out from round 7. It's plain and simple. You could have hurt your hand. You may not have hurt your hand, but it would have done Rigondeaux so much. It would have done him a huge favor. It would have gone a long, long way if he just had one round where he just went balls out and tried to let his hands go. If he had one round like that where he let his hands go, maybe got hit, maybe got hurt, that would have helped him a lot, because it would show a level of respect that I think the fans would be able to appreciate a guy like Rigondeaux going out on his shield. I think a lot of us wanted to see that. Bernstien was still undecided on whether Rigondeaux quit because he thought he had no chance of winning or because he was actually injured. There was a lot of reports that showed essentially that Guillermo Rigondeaux, there were some reports that showed his hand was bruised. It was some type of a really bad bruise, but then when you look at his hand, it's like he had a fucking tumor on it. So, you know, I don't want to give him any excuses. I think, you know, the game of boxing is a huge double-edged sword, and you're put in situations where you have to fight at times, and if you're not able to, it doesn't do anybody any favors. You know, you're not looking any better. So Bernstien, you know, still talking about Guillermo Rigondeaux versus Vasyl Lomachenko. In terms of this fight on paper, this is one of the biggest fights in boxing and one of the most anticipated. I think a lot of the hardcore fan base really gravitated to this fight more than anything else. And we saw what happened. Rigondeaux retired on a stool. And for that, I gotta say, it is what it is, man. You know, and not only that, but a lot of guys were validated on their predictions. You look at Jim Lampley, he said, you know what, this fight was already booked when Rigondeaux agreed to go up to 130 pounds. He wasn't the only one that said it. At the end of the day, the old saying, a good big man beats a good little man, was validated. It was, because these two guys were similar in skill level, and it turned out to be true. It validated that claim, and you learn something. You learn something every fucking day, man. You King Fight, you smash the like button, subscribe to the channel. It is what it is, guys. And not to say that whole saying cannot be disproven, but when skill level is similar, then in most cases that's true. You know, you look at what happened with Golovkin and Kell Brook. You know, skill levels were similar. Golovkin blew Brook out of the water, man. That wasn't even a contest. You look at Amir Khan going up against Canelo Alvarez. There you have it again. You know, Amir Khan was able to outbox him, but all it took was one big shot. I mean, even if Guillermo Rigondeaux was outboxing Lomachenko still had what would be considered to be a strength and power advantage, and he still had a good chance of stopping Rigondeaux at any given time in the fight. Like he had Toledo hurt late in the fight. I think if he was losing on points, which is highly unlikely, Lomachenko would still have chances to win that fight. Whereas Guillermo Rigondeaux, outgunned, outweighed, you know, his chances of winning were very slim to none. And I think a lot of people saw that coming in, and a lot of people looking at Rigondeaux believed in him. King Fight News, smash the like button, subscribe to the channel. It's what it is.